All right, Beatles fans, get ready, because today we are diving deep into the Fab Four's connection to Kent.
Kent.
Yeah, Kent. We're using the Beatles in Kent website as our guide, and
Wow.
it's pretty amazing what we found.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
I think you'll be surprised by how much the Beatles did in Kent.
I mean, they're so connected with London in my mind.
Yeah, you always think of Abbey Road and all that, but
Right, exactly.
they actually spent quite a bit of time in Kent.
Huh. For concerts and stuff?
Concerts and even filming music videos.
Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that.
So, for example, Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane.
Oh, wow. Two of the most iconic songs.
Right. Those videos were both filmed in Knoll Park in Sevenoaks.
Knoll Park?
Yeah, back in early 1967.
I wonder what drew them to that specific location.
Well, if you think about those two songs, they were really kind of a turning point for the Beatles.
Yeah, they were getting to that psychedelic sound more.
Exactly. And Knoll Park, with all the old trees and the landscape,
Yeah.
it just fit that vibe.
It's almost like the location itself became a part of the music.
It's true. And speaking of inspiration, guess what John Lennon found while he was in Sevenoaks?
What's that?
A Victorian circus poster.
Really?
Yeah, and that poster inspired the lyrics for Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite.
Wow, I never knew that.
It really makes you think, right? Like just walking around and seeing a random poster.
Totally. And that spark of creativity turning into such a famous song.
And it's not just locations and inspiration. Kent is also connected to the Beatles through the people who played on their records.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
Well, Alan Civil, the French horn player on For No One, is buried in Brasted, Kent.
Oh, wow. I love For No One.
It's a great song, and Alan Civil's playing is so beautiful on it.
It is. He's one of the only session musicians actually credited on a Beatles record.
Yeah, he really added something special to those tracks.
Definitely that melancholy sound of the stopped horn adds a whole other layer to the songs.
It's so cool how they brought in those classical influences.
Yeah, it shows their range.
And speaking of range, Magical Mystery Tour is a whole other example of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And guess what? They actually filmed parts of that movie in Kent, too.
Really? Where at?
At a disused RAF airfield near Westmalling, they were using it for filming.
No way.
Yeah, and it's been redeveloped now. It's called Kings Hill.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and there's another cool spot in Westmalling related to the movie.
Okay, what is it?
So there's a scene where Ringo buys tickets for the Magical Mystery Tour from John Lennon.
Okay.
And they filmed that scene inside a regular news agency in Westmalling.
No way. Is it still there?
Well, sort of. It's a kebab house now.
What?
But the local council put a blue plaque up to commemorate the Beatles connection.
That's so funny.
It's a little piece of music history hidden in plain sight.
I love that. And of course, we can't talk about the Beatles in Kent without talking about their live performances.
Right. Their first Kent gig was at the Invicta Ballroom in Chatham.
When was that?
January 12th, 1963.
Wow, that early.
Yeah, it was actually their southernmost show at that point.
So Beatlemania was really spreading.
Oh, yeah.
It's too bad that ballroom got demolished in 1987.
I know. I would have loved to see them perform there.
But it must have been an incredible show.
You can practically still hear the screams.
And then, just a few months later, they did a residency at the Winter Gardens in Margate.
That's right. A whole week of shows, 2 shows a night.
2 shows.
Yep. Talk about dedication.
Can you imagine seeing the Beatles twice in one day?
What a time to be alive.
And the best part is the Winter Gardens is still standing today.
Yeah, you can actually go there, see a show, and picture the Beatles on that same stage.
It's amazing to think that Kent played such a big role in the Beatles story.
Yeah, we usually think of them as a Liverpool band or a London band,
Right.
but they really left their mark all over England.
That's for sure. So for anyone listening who's a Beatles fan,
Definitely check out the Beatles in Kent website.
you might even be inspired to plan a trip and see these places for yourself.
It's amazing to think how much history is hidden in plain sight.
You never know what musical secrets you might discover.
Exactly. Go out there and explore.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Until next time.
Bye.
See ya.